be, but I saw him walking around taking my
something simple, and she just took off and,
oh, she really did.
and just started drawing, took a pencil and started drawing on the wall, and she's one of these that can't stop until it's done to her satisfaction. The thing that amazed me about it was that she painted all that, of course, after the layout was in place. So she was standing back there in that narrow little thing, you know, trying to go like this, and she could only work for an hour or two at a time, and her back would start to bother her. I don't know how many trips she made out.
Tell me, the cars on the highway, are you in one of them, or somebody you know?
Well, it's my Corvette, yeah. 3 or 4.
Am I correct in saying it's mostly Pennsylvania Railroad?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're back to the mural here again to have Rob point out something we missed earlier, and he's going to tell us about it.
Well, one of my favorite things is the viaduct, the Nicholson Bridge. And when my friend was painting this, I asked her if there was some way she could incorporate this into the layout. And so she did. I think she did a really nice job of the stone arch bridge that's in Nicholson. And you see there's a steam freight train going across the bridge. And I showed this friend several photographs of the bridge, and she's very particular about getting things exactly, getting all of her details correct. And I was away the day that she did this, and I came home and she was all pleased with herself, told me to come down and look at the bridge. And I looked at it and I thought, uh-oh, you have 11 arches there and there should only be 10. And I thought to myself, should I tell her or not? But I know her well enough that I thought, all right, Leslie, I'll get you on this one. And you know, I had her count the number in the photograph and count the number on the wall, but she was able to solve the problem easily just by adding some trees over here on the end. So it's actually covering up the 11th arch, which has now gone. But that's the history of the Nicholson Bridge on the mural. All right, I'm trying to find some help with identifying this. Some of the fellows that operate the train layout at the museum were out the other night, and none of them had a clue. Obviously it's a street light, and there were 2 bulbs in here that hung down. And the thing that interested me right away was the wires that are on it end in a male plug. And someone did come up with the theory that you bought a set of these and you ran a wire that has sockets in, just like a Christmas tree, string of Christmas tree lights. And then you plug, you just screw these in at whatever sockets that are appropriate to use on your layout. There's no identification on it at all. There's no marks. And the only thing that is on it is the original, I presume original sales tag that says G.C. Murphy Company, 25 cents. So this is another one of my whodunnits. If you have any clues, I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
I found this spiral Speedway in an antique shop up in Tunkhannock. And I saw the box. It was sitting up on a shelf where few people other than myself, I think, could reach. It was way up there. And I got it down thinking that, well, that looks like a Tinker Toy box. And of course, then I saw that it says Spiral Speedway on it. And I paid 15 bucks for it, and I brought it home and soon figured out that 90% of it had never been put together. Whoever had owned it took some of it out of the box, put a few of the wooden pieces together, and I think they either got frustrated or disinterested or something and never finished it. The track, the metal track that it's on, is actually one single piece of steel ribbon. starts at the bottom here and goes up and around and he reaches the top and turns and goes back down. And that track was still coiled up and still had metal clamps on from the factory. It had never been out. And I've looked and looked on the internet, and I've asked everybody who's come here, and no one has ever seen one. And it's made by the L.B. Miller Company of Kent, Ohio. And I don't know anything other than that. It's a spiral speedway, and they also made a double spiral speedway.
You want to demonstrate it again?
I was going to tell you some more.
Okay, go ahead, sorry.
Hey, pay attention, pay attention.
And the thing that I really was fascinated by, on the box, one of the things says, it says racers have variable speeds. And I thought to myself, well, now how can they have variable speeds? Because you just put it on the track and gravity is the only thing. And I'll show you here, let you figure it out how they have variable speeds.
Look, the speed increases when you go down.
Now you see what happens in the instruction book inside. It explains the variable speeds. It says that because the cars are handmade, they may go faster one direction than the other, or if you turn it over, or if you add a drop of oil to the end of the axles. So you can, that's how you get your variable speeds out of it. So,
Plus, of course, it increases, they go down to the bottom.
right.
That was as high a technology as they had in those days,
That was
right?
pretty much it,
That's
right.
all right.
So if anyone has any information, I would appreciate it. All right, the mural on this wall was done by 6th grade students at the Ashcar Elementary School in Hughesville. Each year, the 6th grade is invited up to the high school to participate in the arts festival that they have there for the high school kids. And as a backdrop, excuse me, for the 6th grade artwork, each year they paint a mural. And that stands behind all of their other little arts and crafts. And this particular year, the theme was planes, trains, and automobiles. And I know the elementary art teacher very well, and this isn't the whole thing, this is just the part of it with the trains in, but I asked her what she was going to do with that after the arts festival, and she said, well, I'll probably do like I do every year. I'll take it and I'll fold it up and I'll put it in my closet, and after a couple of years I'll wonder why I'm keeping it, and then I'll throw it away. And I said, well, we're not going to throw this one away. I said, I have a good spot for this. And you know, it just fits in with the whole idea of trains and kids, and I like the bright colors on it and the perspective. I especially love here how the wheels of the train are a couple feet higher in the air than the locomotive. It's kind of, you know, flying along. But it's just an example of some elementary school artwork. All right. This is something that a friend gave me for fixing a train of his a couple years ago. He had told me that he'd pay me to fix it, and I said, no, I won't take any money, because if I fix it and you pay me and then you take it home and it quits working, you're going to end up being mad at me and we're going to be enemies. And so I fixed it and I took it to him, and he told me, he said, now you told me you wouldn't take any money, so he handed this to me.
But that's a quarter there, right?
That's a quarter, and we have a little mallet. And so anyway, I said, okay, I would take that, and I looked at it, and he said, don't you know what that is? And I said, no. He said, well, that's a quarter pounder. And so there it is.
Okay,
I
great.
tell everyone that comes, this is where your mind goes when you retire. This is the kind of thing that you become fixed on. Get a shot of that with some light in there or not, but there's two little nails, two little tacks in there.
Okay.
See those, Will?
Yes, yeah. All right, a twin. Is that close?
He said this is something that everybody should have. He said it's a tax shelter.
Oh, tax shelter. Boy, okay,
So that's a financial tip of the day.
There you go.
that's a clever guy.